Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, I want to do a little update. It's not been a very lucrative year last year when it came to journaling. I took about 6 months off just because I was in that little bit of a dry spot, dry space. And sometimes that just happens. And you can't force the creativity to come. For those of you who are artsy and understand all that, sometimes you just got to take a break and it's okay. Don't think you've lost it. Don't think that, you know, whatever, you're losing your mind or whatever. It's just a season, it's ebb and flow. And I have spent a lot of time doing the journaling over the years and years of journaling. And so I started getting back into it about 3 months ago, finishing up some journals that I didn't complete that I thought I would last summer, and I never did. But you take a look at YouTube or Instagram, even TikTok, man, the journalers have exploded. And you know what? There's room for all of us. I hold a much looser, what word do I want to use? Creativity with it all. I use all kinds of materials. As a photographer, I'm super picky about my pictures. And even that, the last 6 or 7 months, I've gotten kind of like, whatever. I use the phone and I don't, like, the exposure is what it is. I might crop something, but the phone has made photography the lazy man's way to take pictures. It's great when it's impromptu, but after taking a quick picture of a Cooper hawk that was perched on my fence on my patio, all of a sudden, like, it's got the rhythm in me again. Not to grab my camera per se, but to start pulling out my tens of thousands of pictures and utilizing them again. So, journaling is the junk journaling, mixed media journaling, whatever you want to call it. I don't really like calling it junk journal, other than the fact that I use a lot of stuff. I take buttons off of shirts that I'm going to throw out. People give me sometimes books that they're going to get rid of. I use magazines, mailers, recyclable things that I can use in my books. So real quick here, just a short little video, no music, no editing. I One of the things too is, like, I hate editing. I hate it. I'll admit it. I don't like it. And the great thing with YouTube is you can pop it on, do your dishes, and stop and look as you feel interested. Or you can be creating yourself and listen. Ultimately, in the perfect world, I would hire an editor, but it costs money, and I don't have money to pay an editor. So I just plug through and create and do. So let me show you real quick a couple of things that I do. Again, the people say, why do you do these? Why do you do these books, these journals, these whatever? I take recycled books and reuse them. It's all about, and I'm not a big recycle guru, but if I see something good from a mailer that I can utilize, stickers that, and I'm not a big sticker person, but if I see some good ones and I create my own, really simple, by buying the blank 8x11 sheets, putting in to Photoshop or on Microsoft Word and print it out on my printer, and then I get to cut them up and use them. It's way cheaper than buying stickers that are at the store, because those can be really pricey. Unless they're super fancy and really good quality at a decent price, I don't even buy stickers anymore. There's a couple of brands that I do really like because they're very pristine. And one of them is this girl here, Joy Shoik. I think that's how you call it. She makes, you can get these on Amazon. You'll have to look it up. I'm not going to put the link in here right now. I might come back. But she's got a variety. They come in a nice little box like this. Very good quality. The stickers themselves are really good quality. And I do like to recommend people that I find really cute. I'm a big dog person. Okay. So these are really cute. Really nice. These are probably 6x5, maybe. Nice quality. I hope she never goes out of business because her stuff is that good. But here are some things that I use. You can use, if you're getting started, use simple things like an expired used gift card. These are really nice. They're very good quality and they're heavy duty. And these make great boxes. When you want to draw and make little segments in your blank pages, these work fantastic. I have a couple of really good rulers that I use. Uh-oh, where'd my rulers go? Oh, what? Where did my rulers go? This is bizarre. What the heck? Where did my rulers go? That's very weird. Very weird. But I have my rulers. This was a freebie that I got that I like to use. I will say investing in a decent little ruler. Helix is a good brand. Well, here they are. I've been moving my cups around. This is an academic non-skid that I used for art school. And these used to be 69 cents back in like 20 years ago. They're probably up to $2 now, but these are worth it. It's metal, and then you can hang it. They got the little circle there, and they're 6 inches. These are perfect. I absolutely love these. I keep these handy dandy in my pen cup. Here I take coffee cups and put my pens in there. I have all kinds of Post-it notes, lined, unlined, vellum, small ones, short ones, circle ones. Watch on Amazon. Pull up Post-it notes. The variety is endless. You can this I think I got at Office Max back in the day, and a little shapes just to help, make straight edges and things like that. This one I got in a I don't remember where. I've had some of these things for 20, 30, 40 years. And the nice thing is when you're buying some of this stuff, they do last a very long time. So these have got the different shapes. Again, you can look on Amazon. The only thing with Amazon is there's a lot of poor quality. Like this is really poor quality. See how flimsy that is? But the shapes are great. And I think there was a package of 10 of these. I don't know, for $5 or something like that. I don't know. So that was good. This one, great if you like to do small little designs. But these I keep handy just in case I need something quick. So when you find things, grab them. I have a pile of stampers. These are the rubber stamps. And I just pick up what I like when I see it. I do not have links to any of these. Some of them, again, are so old, I don't even remember what brands and things like that they are. Most of the time I buy, I used to buy a lot at Michael's until Michael's flipped their store to make it more like Joann's and whatever. They used to have a lot of paper goods, and during 2021 to 2023, they got rid of almost all the paper goods. Their section of paper goods is very small. Now they're more with the Cricut. I have a Cricut. I don't use it a lot. It's quicker for me to cut in hand than to set everything up. But I do have a lot of Cricut designs if I decide to do that. I have my different colored stamp, my Distress Oxide. Again, when it comes to this kind of stuff, you can get sometimes some cheaper ones, but I will say that the Ranger Tim Holtz brand is by far the best. It lasts the longest. You can get the spritzer to or the inkers to keep them inked up. Again, well, if you're really going to use it, which if you really get into it, you will use the ink a lot. I have my set of markers. I have my little carrier here with the different markers in it. I have a fetish for good pens, good markers. I do like the Micron. The Micron is awesome. The standby is Sharpie. So good. Regular gel pens, I like the Pilot G2. And again, you guys are just going to have to look these up. The fine Sharpie, and I've got the different colors. And then you learn, we all like different kind of pens. So depending on what you like, if you're looking for something specific, the biggest challenge is finding white pens, white markers. They're near impossible. But when you find one, share it. I have yet to find one that doesn't dry up or whatever. I've got my different erasers handy that I keep right here. The basic art erasers. My washi tape, I have a little bin of those. And I've got my little stampers. I do have different types of letter stamps. I keep those handy. I don't use them a lot, but when I do, I do. I use all types of different books and journals. Now, this is a leather-bound one with a little band, okay? This one I probably got about 8 years ago. I still haven't finished it because I was making, it's got the cotton sheets. I think I picked this one up either at Hobby Lobby or on Amazon, and I'm leaning towards Hobby Lobby. Michael's brand of journals are really good. Now this one I've expanded. You see how big it is. This one's getting a little hardcore used, but I do tend to go towards the Artist Loft brand. They're pretty decent for the price and never pay full price. They have buy one, get one half off. They have them on clearance. They have 5x7s, 8x11, and I think 11x14. And they have the plain white sheets. And I'll show you a couple of pages that I did in here. And I'm still working on finishing this one. This one was supposed to be finished like 2 years ago. So I do some drawing. I use my photographs. This is some cotton lace. And so I do a variety of things. I have digital downloads that I get from Etsy. And again, you just got to go in and find what you like, your style. And you can find a lot of good digital downloads for very cheap. The biggest thing is storing them. And I have an external drive because I don't trust cloud. And I use those a lot. I get the biggest one. And yeah, I use some of my own photography. So here's one of my pictures here. And I just print those right out with my own printer. And one of the things is you can't cheap out on a printer. My older print, my HP, I tend to like HP overall. They've made it very easy to get the ink in the mail, which is kind of nice, but they've not been doing a good job the last year or so. They do it to recycle, and they haven't been sending the recycle bags. And I don't have the space to keep all these old inks, so it's a little frustrating there. So anyhow, when I get this particular one done, I will share the end result and show. I have other videos where I usually do a video when I'm done with the journals, and I haven't finished any lately. So that's kind of why I've not been on YouTube. But I wanted to come on board and kind of show you, and I'm kind of getting into the rhythm with this new year of being online more, doing more videos. Here is a little video or a little book, 5x7, and I think this is an artist. This was somebody that made this for me, and she just did the cover. She knew I liked Hobby Lobby, or no, wait, is it Precious Moments? And then I liked pink, and so she made this all prettied up, and it's just a basic lined journal. And I did it for a couple of Bible studies, and that's really sweet. And then she made a little pen holder here. That I have not done on my own, but it's there. But going back to here, so the journals and the books are all depending on what you like to use. I have a host of books that I'll recycle and create something. I go to our local library. We have two of them in the neighborhood that they'll do. They do book sales. They have a barn sale where they have tables and tables and tables set up, and you can get a bag of books and you just give a donation. Used to be 50 cents to $2 for a book, and that's usually when I would stock up on some certain types with the good leather or whatever. So this particular one I got because I was making umbrella pictures. This is watercolor. I like the cotton pages, and about 8 years ago, there was a big push on doing umbrellas, and so I was on a mission after work every night or every couple nights, making umbrella pictures and painting them in here. And I liked the look, and I just never finished. I never finished. I kind of moved on. That's why I don't really like doing topical, because I usually don't finish them. I'm just more eclectic, but I do like this one, and I want to get it done. So that's my goal this year, is to have this done this year. So that's what this particular book is. Here's a picture that I made in it with charcoal, and I might go ahead and do that in here as well, use my charcoals. I use all kinds of mediums when it comes to writing. I have my pencils, I have the chalk, I have my mechanical pencils, I have markers, I have all kinds of markers. It all, you just keep growing and growing and growing. It all just start with the basic. You don't have to have it all. I like to do a little calligraphy, so I have some basic calligraphy. I have my my glass calligraphy pens and my other calligraphy pens. And so I use like whatever I'm in the mood for. I've got the inks and all that kind of stuff. It just depends. Now here's another one. This is just a mixed media by Strathmore. Strathmore's a pretty decent material book, and I like that it's got the nice binder with these. These though can go either way. Sometimes if you pull it by accident, it loosens and ruins this binder. I'm not crazy about these unless it's really good quality. Sometimes if you find these books with this binder in it, I love it because it lays flat. And I tell you what, it is worth the extra couple of bucks if you get one that's got a good heavy duty, more of a steel instead of the thin, like tinny binder here. But this is one I've been working on with stencils and things like that. I'm trying to put a person or a lady or, people in on each page. I have a lot of stickers. This was a cutout that I use with my, what do you call it? I can't think of the name of it, but the old-fashioned kind. I use my paints. I use all, again, I've got most of the different kinds of inks that I use and paints, watercolor paints. Acrylics, I don't do a whole lot. I'm not impressed with acrylics. The people that do acrylics really have the gift to use the acrylics well. I've done acrylics for many years with ceramics, trying to do it on crafts and things, and I just don't like the outcome. I just don't. I like the watercolor best, and it's kind of happened impromptu. I watercolored many years ago, I think as a kid, once or twice. It was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then I had some materials for watercoloring, and someone gave me a kit with the paper and all that kind of good stuff. And I thought, I really think I need to start doing the watercolor. And when I sat down and relaxed, and art of any sort is a therapy. It truly is. Whether you're writing, painting, coloring, sculpturing, making jewelry, whatever it is, it's therapy. So I'm going to wrap this up here, but here's another one, another page I did, and I like the textures. I like using texture in my books, and so sometimes I'll get the stencils out, and I'll use the what do you call it? I can't. It's the end of the day here, but I've done those before where I show you step by step, but I like texture. I like I take material, whether I buy material or it's an old shirt or a handkerchief or something like that, and I create with that. I use a lot of pictures, digitals, and so forth. I have a file cabinet, and I have a file right next to me on top of all the digitals I have stored in my computer. And tonight I did a few, and this one I love doing. This was simple. I'm trying to make them more simple and less, this is less time consuming versus this big one that I started a while ago. For a long time, I was making my journals like this. Really fancy. So I did some embroidery on a picture that I took, and all of these pages have all kinds of good stuff on it. And this was how I was making all of my journals for at least 5 years. Really, really creating on every part of the page. And I love doing that. I love finding a spot and putting the right thing there. Very intricate. The people that have gotten my books have emailed me and said, there's so much detail in here. I can't imagine how long it took you to make this. You're underpriced, and wow. And every time I look at it, I find something different. And that it's like the hidden pictures. Every time, you're searching for something, but you just don't know what it is. That's the great thing with these. This is what I love. And so that's why I love doing it. I love that I'm an administrator by nature, so I'm all in those little details. I put buttons and jewelry. And one of my favorite things to do is when people give me jewelry that, just costume jewelry, it is so therapeutic. I love taking apart jewelry, necklaces and bracelets and stuff. I love taking it apart. I don't like putting it together, but I love taking it apart. And then I have a couple of different dishes with all these jewels, and I use those to decorate. Like this here was a turquoise necklace. There's a charm up here, a necklace. It's endless. It's endless. You got to have the space for it, that's for sure, if you're really going to indulge. But you can do it simply with the little desk, with some stamps, with some markers and pen, 3 or 4 drawers to keep your pens and markers and stuff in, and then just get 2 or 3 journals at a time. I usually have a couple of them going at a time so that I can paint, let dry, and then work on another one. But that's it in a nutshell. Not so much in a nutshell, but that's a good open variety. of what I do. I'll be back making more.